Okay, welcome everybody. This is our first official PTO meeting for the Krista McAuliffe Intermediate School PTO for the 2021-2022 school year. I really wanted to do this in person, blended actually, where I'm broadcasting live from Krista McAuliffe. I don't think I've been in the building more than a handful of times in the last year and a half, but it's just logistically, I think there's still a lot of hesitancy. And even though I wanted to model that behavior, I thought it's best maybe we do virtual this month. We had a CEC meeting and we tried to do blended and we had 0 people in attendance virtually. And we had a pretty good house remotely. So, I mean, you know what I mean, right? So there was 0 people in the building, but much more people watching this on Zoom. So that's why we're here on Zoom. We are being recorded and we are live streaming on YouTube. So both of those are ways that you can view this, what we're doing tonight. And we want to welcome you. We're going to just give some information out there. We're going to introduce everybody, and then we're going to take questions, and hopefully between all of us here, we're going to provide answers. So the first person I'd like to introduce is our executive board, the first people. And let me start with our recording secretary, Dr. Jason Steinert. Jason, you want to say hello?
Yes, hi everybody. Looking forward to working with all of you this year. It's obviously a different time and different circumstances than I think we're previously used to, but nonetheless, I think we're going to have a great year and you know, have a great evening, everyone, and enjoy the meeting.
Thank you, Jason. Our treasurer, now we're pretty much, except for my wife and I, Kim Gillette, we're all kind of new to these roles. And our next person is a is a parent teacher association pro, but she's like one of these utility players that whatever we need to do, she steps in and does it. And we're so glad that we have her. We're so fortunate. Miss Madeline Ling, Corey Ling. Yes, Madeline, go ahead, take it away.
Hi, everyone. I'm thrilled to be treasurer of the PTO this year. I was vice president last year, and I am president of my daughter's elementary school. So I am well-schooled in the world of parent-teacher associations. We hope to have a lot of parent involvement if the situation allows, hopefully later in the year. And of course, we hope to see lots of money coming in with our membership drive. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Madeline. And next up is my co-conspirator in life as well as on my PTA career, Kim Gillette, our Vice President of Fundraising.
Good evening, everyone, and thank you so much for coming. And we've got a lot to cover, so I won't be long, but I just want to give you a heads up. We're going to be asking for money throughout the year. You know, I'm sorry, but that's my job. And the first thing that we're going to ask, some parents, the 8th grade parents are familiar with this, but we've got the little green envelope, and these are going to be coming home soon with a letter explaining it. We're asking, you know, for a donation. You are all members of the PTO, but to keep us going with various activities that we're hoping to do this year that we haven't been able to do last year, we need funds. We do ask. We ask for $187 for, you know, IS 187, but we understand, especially now there are tough times, whatever you can contribute to the PTO, we will be grateful for. So if you can't do that, we totally understand, but whatever, you know, your family can contribute, we will be grateful. So please look out for these lovely green envelopes. They will be coming soon. And for any parents that are new to Krista McAuliffe, I'm sure there are parents out there that have been involved with the PTAs from their children's elementary school. If you are interested in working with us, we would love to have more people working with us. And if, again, with fundraising, Krista McAuliffe typically had a bake sale every month, and it was quite a moneymaker for us. With COVID right now, it's not something we're comfortable doing. So if you have ideas of fundraisers that were successful at your school, we would love to hear from you. I'm going to put my email address in the chat right now. Please contact me. Again, we are looking for help. And Vito and I, our daughter's in 8th grade. So we're aging out. So we need new people to come, you are more than welcome. I know sometimes PTAs aren't always, they've got their core group and they're not welcoming. We would love to have additional help. So please, if you have any ideas or just want to help on a one-off basis, that's great. So again, I'm Kim and I'll put my email in now. Thank you.
Thank you, Kim. So next up, we're going to do introductions before we get into the details. We're going to hear more from Ms. Siddiqui, but I just wanted to welcome her and introduce her. She's taking Mr. Berman's place. He was unavailable this evening. So just Ms. Siddiqui, would you please say hello, and then we'll pass it on to your team.
Absolutely. Hello, everyone. My name is Mina Siddiqui. I am one of the assistant principals at IS 187. I am the facilitator for the Academy of Business and Law. And also, you probably saw a lot of emails from me this summer via Pupil Path and Operu, just kind of getting everything settled and everything set. And I look forward to the meeting tonight. We do have two very special new assistant principals that are here today. And Vito, is it okay if I introduce them?
I was hoping you would.
Okay. We have interim acting assistant principal Stephanie Pissarro, who has taken on the position as facilitator of Academy of Scientific Research. So Stephanie, you want to come on and say hello?
Hi, everyone. I'm very excited for my new role. I've spoken with many of you, and I've been with Chris McCall for the past 15 years, but I'm looking forward to this new position and all the new things that will come along with it.
Thank you, Stephanie. In addition, we have another phenomenal interim acting assistant principal for arts and humanities, Ms. Breanne Gasser. Breanne, would you like to come on?
Sure. Hi, everyone. I am Breanne Gasser. I am going to be working with the Academy of Arts and Humanities, and I'm very excited to get to know all of you and work with all of you.
And just a light note, I have to say, these are Ms. Gasser as well as Ms. Pissarro have been a phenomenal part of Win 87 and the foundation of helping us stay sane through programming and COVID restrictions and opening and reopening and closing. And we wouldn't have, and we couldn't have done it without them. So we are truly so happy to have the two of them as a part of our team as interim acting assistant principals.
What the hell happened?
Thank you.
Mr. LaBella, I also see that Ms. Forsyth.
Forsyth, yes, I just saw that.
So Ms. Forsyth, could you please come on and just introduce yourself? I'm so happy that you're here.
Hi, how are you? So nice to meet everybody here. I'm Mrs. Forsyth. I'm the assistant principal for special instruction in ENL and 504s. I also work closely with transportation. So if you have any questions regarding transportation, whether it be special education or general education, please feel free to reach out to me, and welcome to everybody. Nice to see you tonight.
Thank you so much, Ms. Forsyth. I know how you love being on camera. So
yes.
I really appreciate
my favorite thing.
So I really appreciate you coming on here and doing this for us. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Not a problem at all.
Okay, great. I'm scrolling down the participants list. I don't see anybody else we're missing. If anybody does, please scream in there. There are some SLT members. Go ahead.
If you could just let everyone know, if you have friends in the waiting room that are not being admitted, we need your name for you to be admitted and not, some nickname. And we just ask, so if you have a friend that's telling you they can't get in, that's why.
Yeah, and we already put that in the chat as well. And we are broadcasting live on YouTube. So even if you don't want to give us your real name, you can watch it on YouTube. The role of the PTO really is to work synergistically with the administration, with the school. And I've been doing this now. This is my 5th year. And before that, I was on the SLT. And we have such a great relationship. The PTO, before it was a PTO, was a PTA. And we have a great relationship with the administration of this school. And what does that mean? Well, there's big pools of money, and Mr. Berman loves to talk about budgets and this and that, but just let me tell you, he's got money, we have money, and some stuff he can buy, and some stuff I can buy, and some stuff he can't buy. So we sit down and we figure out how to spend the money for the best use of, in the best interest of our children. And he's so forthcoming. Everyone's so forthcoming. So it's such a pleasure to work here. And I can tell you from my experience in the PTO world, that's not always the case, right? It's not always the case that everyone has a good relationship. People like to hold information in. People like to be secretive, even in worlds with video cameras and websites where budgets are supposedly online. People still are very leery about talking out there and being transparent. But you know, everything that I've always done about transparency, and transparency is one of the things that I run on both as a CEC member and also as a PTO president. Everything that I've proposed, Mr. Berman and the rest of the staff has said go with it. So we live stream we Zoom and we post our SLT meetings. Very few schools do. We do the same thing with our PTO meetings, and it's all about the kind of real integrity that exists in our school. So along with that, some things that we're thinking of doing this year, specifically with PTO money, the role of the PTO, I said, is to try to enrich our children's experiences. So in the past, we've bought stuff like smartboards and Google Chromebooks. And this year, because of all the federal money, there's a lot of Google Chromebooks coming in. There may be a lot of smartboards coming in. So we're going to, hopefully, what we're thinking of doing is maybe assemblies. We haven't had real assemblies now for 18 months. We want to do stuff in person whenever we can, so our kids can really experience what a normal middle school at Christa McAuliffe was, 2 years ago, and maybe even goose it up a little bit to try to make up for some of the lack of real experiences that we had over the past 18 months. But there are some different restrictions. Our auditorium can only hold 250 people and comply with social distancing guidelines. So where previously we would do one assembly for every academy, now what we're doing is we're going to have to do 4 assemblies instead of 3. And so that's going to be a few extra dollars. So again, like Kim said, we'll be asking for money a lot, and we're gonna try to find interesting things, spend money on that, and as the year goes forward, we'll talk more about that. So some of the stuff that I work on, and I always kind of shift roles here a little bit on the CEC, is the middle school admissions. I know we're all in middle school. Many of you have your children are in this school and they have younger siblings. So you have a vested interest in seeing, well, how are they going to do middle schools this year and going forward. The same with high school admissions. So I could talk very briefly about those things. It's a fluid thing. It's all very, very fluid. We had some good news the other day. The good news was that, let me get rid of that. So the good news the other day was that they finally said that we're going to have the SHSAT. It's going to be given in December of 2021. So it's a couple of months later than it normally is, but it's earlier than it was last year. So the information will be coming out. I'm sure our team at school will get that with their guidance counselors, and we'll be able to move forward with that for December, which is a very good news because we were worried about the city that was dragging its feet. Going along with high school admissions, because I know it's very important to our students, they did away, or they're looking to do away with geographical preferences for high schools across the city. Now, District 20 had 2 zone schools where if you didn't go into any other school, you could always go into Fort Hamilton or I believe New Utrecht. So that will not be a guarantee this year. We don't know how they're going to populate these high schools. But the good news is schools that had a geographical wall around them for all practical purposes, such as Eleanor Roosevelt, Millennium Manhattan, Bard, these schools all took Manhattan kids first. In theory, our kids have every Richard, was it a live transcription be enabled for the meeting? Yeah, why not enable? We're going to enable live transcription. Okay. I think we should have some music like da-da-da-dum, like we did something like that. But so yeah, so we really don't know. In theory, we don't know how they're going to populate these schools, but in theory, our children now have an equal chance of getting in as any other child in the city. So again, we're going to go forward and we're going to see, but this is very, very fluid, as is the city's restructuring of the entire gifted and talented program as it exists right now from kindergarten through 5th grade. I'm not going to go into that. You can follow our CEC 20. We're working on that now. CEC 20 is very into trying to talk to the city and get them to engage parents to let them have a voice in what they want in as far as gifted and talented. The donation drive we spoke about. Okay, we also touched upon I'm leaving, Kim's leaving, Madeline's leaving, Jason's probably leaving. We're all leaving. There are some non-mandatory positions. If you looked at our letterhead, there's some open positions: assistant treasurer, vice president parent involvement, communications secretary. Those are like neon signs saying, please, please, please get involved. Please contact us. We have, we've built up this wonderful thing that we would love to hand off. And the best way to do that is to train people who are interested in taking it and then making it even better, right? We want to leave what we have really, really nice for the next person to take and run with it and make even better. So if you're listening and you're going to be here and you're a 6th grade parent and you want to get involved, please contact us and we'll figure out what you want to do. And we'll have an election for assistant treasurer. We'll have an election for vice president. We can do that. Okay. But you have to show an interest and we'll move forward. But we really would hate to see next year when we're all gone and then have something like an expedited election where no one knows what's going on and no one can go and carry the ball forward. So please, if you hear my voice, please contact us so that we can really build up the PTO next year and many years after that. Okay, so I usually talk about a lawsuit that we are part of as a PTO that was initiated a couple of years ago when the city tried to expand the discovery program in what we felt was a discriminatory manner. In short, our children can't participate in discovery. Discovery program is a program where kids who have an economic need would be eligible to get into a specialized high school if they just missed the mark. We can't do it because they're trying to only have certain schools do it. What they were doing is not right. I'm going to post my video explanation of that onto our Facebook page and onto our YouTube channel. Please look at it. If you have any questions, email me and we'll go forward. Again, that's another fluid thing. Everything that we're doing really is changing in real time. So I don't want to take up time and go over something that may not be relevant next week or a couple of weeks from now. So with that, I'm going to ask Madeline to do a quick treasury report, explain how much money we have and where it came from, and then we'll turn it over to the A team, Ms. Siddiqui and everyone else. Madeline, go ahead.
Hello, everyone. Okay, I'm sharing the treasurer's report for September of 2021. Our beginning balance as of July 1 was $61,940.10. We did not have a lot of expenses during the summer. We had $160.75, which was for water supply for the main office. And that left us with a balance of $61,779.35. We also have our check statements at the end, and there is a little bit of a difference between the ending balance in our August statement and our ending balance here, because we have some outstanding checks that have not been cashed. And we hope next month's treasurer's report is even better. Hopefully we have some income in membership dues right here. So that's our hope. Thank you. And if anyone has any questions, please let me know.
Thank you, Madeline. Okay, does anyone out there have any questions for the PTA board, the PTO board? Please put it in the chat. Any specific questions for any of us? I don't see anything. Anybody see anything? Is the chat enabled? Oh, I guess it is, yes. I wanted to make sure, right? That would be bad. Oh, we have a, will we have a talent show, Kenneth? So that's, I'll let Ms. Siddiqui or Ms. Gasser into that. Would the PTO be open to co-presidents? So position shared by 2 individuals. So in order to do like, okay, so someone wanted to be co-presidents with me, I would have to resign and then we would have to run together as a team. So what we would do is if someone's interested, then maybe they would run for vice president. So we get people, we have a vice president position available. It's open. So if 2 or 3 people wanted to run, we could do 2 vice presidents and then they could learn the ropes that way.
But for next year, yes, we have had co-presidents in the past and it's worked very well.
Hello. Was that a question? Can you translate?
You have a question about the SHSAT.
So I believe Ms. Siddiqui is going to speak to that, but I think they're arranging something for our 8th graders. Yes. Okay, I'll let Ms. Siddiqui give a presentation, what she wants to speak about, and then we'll continue to have an open discussion and ask questions of the group after she's done. Ms. Siddiqui?
Hello, everyone. Thank you. Again, I'm here on behalf of Mr. Berman. He apologizes for not being able to attend this evening. He did give me an overall list of things that he wanted me to discuss and to go over. In addition, we do have our whole administrative team here. So we will be able to answer any additional questions, hopefully, that you may have. The first that we wanted to talk about would be safety. Every day we are reevaluating our entrance and exit protocols to ensure that it is safe, that it makes sense, that the students are getting in to homeroom on time, that they're getting lined up in an appropriate way, that they are socially distanced, and allowing them to enter the building and grab breakfast if they choose. Some of the things that we are holding us up in the morning are checking health screening surveys for students who are either repeating the same survey from yesterday, not completing a new one every day, or not having that survey. That is something that is definitely holding us up in the morning. So being able to have that survey done and ready and available, waiting for us at the main entrance, to get in, will help us to get our students in as quickly as possible. In terms of when there isn't any sort of inclement weather, we will be opening the 12th Avenue entrance earlier, and we will be allowing the students to come in, get their breakfast, and go to homeroom much earlier. Another issue that we are having right now with entrance is that students are coming to the door at 8 o'clock with their health screening. Homeroom begins at 8 a.m. So students are coming in late, which is becoming a reoccurring issue. We are beginning to let them in earlier. We do begin to let the students in at 7:45 is when we allow them to begin to come in so that they're able to get to homeroom. Sorry. Sorry about that. That's my puppy that will be able to get to homeroom on time. So if you are able to make sure that the students are there prior to 8 a.m., that we'll be able to do that. In terms of some of the issues that we're seeing with busing, double parking in front of the bus or not allowing the buses to depart on time has become an issue. So parents, please, we are asking, please not to park where the buses will go on 12th Avenue so that that we'll be able to get the students out safely. Like I said, we have been reevaluating our entrance and exit policies consistently to be able to do that. One additional thing is that we have an abundance of PPE equipment. The teachers are replenished daily if they need to. We have not had any problem with students wearing masks and or teachers requesting PPE equipment that is not there. So desks, computers are sanitized on a consistent basis because the students are transferring in class. In addition to that, we have our lunches. We have lunch that is going on in several different areas. We wanted to make sure that the students aren't always in one place for lunch. So lunch is according to the cycle day. They are in either the cafeteria, the auditorium, and or a classroom. So that has been working well in terms of getting the students socially distanced. They are socially distanced for lunch. They are sitting in a certain way so that they're not face to face with another child. Masks go back on once they finish eating, and that has been working pretty well. In terms of the COVID testing has now changed a little bit. So I am going to ask Ms. Gasser to please come on for 1 second and talk about COVID testing in addition to if there is a positive COVID case.
Hello. So COVID testing originally was every 2 weeks, and it was for unvaccinated students who submitted their consent for testing. Now we are changing starting on Monday to weekly testing. So it will be 10% of unvaccinated students who have submitted consent for testing. Positive COVID cases. If your child is in contact with somebody who did test positive for COVID, there is a new procedure. Starting on Monday, they will no longer be closing an entire classroom when there is a positive case. Both vaccinated and unvaccinated students who are wearing their masks and have maintained at least 3 feet distance will not have to quarantine. The most up-to-date information is on the DOE website. It is changing very, very frequently. So I am going to put the link in the chat for everyone, and that is where you can get the most up-to-date information.
One thing that I would like to add is when there is a positive COVID case and parents are either, again, emailing us or informing us, there will be certain information that we will be asking you. Ms. Gasser, can you go over some of that information as well?
Yes, the situation room will ask us for specific information as what types of symptoms your child is showing, what date your child tested positive. They will also be requesting the test that says that your child tested positive. Other things that they will be asking is whether or not your child is vaccinated. I'm trying to think of anything else. I think that's pretty much it for right now.
Thank you. I do see some questions about some safety issues. Like I said, we are reevaluating. We have to make sure that we're allowing students, if there is a teacher in the classroom, we can allow them to go in. If there is not a teacher in the classroom, we have to make sure that they are supervised. So what we'll be doing this week is we want to ensure that all students are safe. We are bringing them in. We're hoping to bring them in a little bit later so that the teachers are there to be able to get them into their classrooms earlier. What is holding us up at this moment is students not coming in with their health screening. If they do not have their health screening, that again takes an additional time to allow for everyone to line up and get into the school. So we are letting students come in earlier so that we are able to make sure we take the temperature, fill out the health screening, ask them the questions, and then be able to allow those students to get into school. So once we have that, once we talk about that with the teachers and get them in swiftly, I'm sure there will not be a backup in the hallway.
Can Can I just clarify one thing for the health screening? For the health screening, a lot of students are having trouble because they are trying to sign into the health screening with their IS-187 email or with their parents' email. The only email that will work is their NYC students email, that if your child was not remembering their password, all passwords were reset as of today. So if they do have any concerns, you can send me an email and I can reset their password for you. And then the health screening will work on the website. And the website link is in the chat.
In terms of, again, allowing students in the classroom prior to 8 a.m., teachers are not in their classrooms until 8 a.m. So there is no one to supervise the students at that point. That's why we have floor monitors at this point that are able to watch the floor. And then once the teacher enters the classroom, many of them prior to 8 a.m., they do allow the students to come in. Mr. Berman also asked me to talk about NIA will be having an SHSAT 8th grade remote program. That information and letter will go out this Friday in terms of how it will be enrolled or how the students will be enrolled in that program. It will go out to parents first. Parents must then reply to that email saying that they are interested. Once they are interested, Mr. Hederman, who is the director of our NIA program, will then send the information directly to your child in terms of the registration process. It is a fully remote program. So that information will go out on Friday. In terms of assessments, we will be having a school-wide iReady assessment beginning on the 29th, Ms. Gasser, correct?
The 28th or the 29th, depending on programming.
That will be first a reading comprehension and or reading assessment, and then followed by a math assessment. And that data will be available for you to see in terms of your child's progress. In addition to that, Mr. Berman did ask me to say that at this point, he does have $500,000 in his budget that we are using in order to plan for this year, in addition to possibly hiring additional staff and resources to make sure we have the staff that we need. In terms of, I see a question in the hallways are being jammed. One thing that we felt that was really important was the transition of keeping the typical middle school experience instead of having school students stay in the classroom all day. Right now, again, we are a middle school who isn't in an elementary school building. We do have teachers that we will be talking about in our academy preps to make sure that dismissal and or exchange of classes will run smoothly, so there isn't a backup that is in the hallway. We do have people in the hallway consistently during change of period to try to get that going as smoothly as possible. Some of the students need to be reminded to go the correct staircase. Up is up, down is down, which is creating a backup in the hallway. So once we get through a full cycle week, I'm certain that backup that is happening, and yes, it is happening, is due to the students not looking at the up and the down and going down the incorrect staircase, which is creating somewhat of a backlog in the hallways. We do have administrators that are in every hallway, in addition to staff that is moving and are moving the students along as swiftly as possible. Please remember that during each change of periods, that are computers being sanitized, students who are making sure that they're using hand sanitizer when they leave. So there is a difference in protocol and change of periods, which may be causing the backup. And those are due to safety concerns. So every day we are reevaluating what we're doing to ensure that the students are safe. Let me see what else that Mr. Berman had asked me to talk about. I believe that is it. Ms. Pissarro, Ms. Forsyth, would you like to add anything on?
Ms. Siddiqui?
Yes.
I think we are remiss. We have to introduce Ms. Palumbo.
I'm so sorry. I didn't know she was here. Go right.
She snuck in.
Absolutely. So the incredible parent coordinator who has answered so many of your emails, Carla Palumbo, please come on and say hello.
Hi, how is everybody?
Nice to see you, Carla.
I'd like to see everybody in person, but what are you going to do? Soon. Welcome.
Thank you, Carla. Are there any other questions out there?
Yeah, or Ms. Forsyth or Ms. Pissarro, anything in terms of ENL, special education, or programming?
I don't think so.
Talent show.
Okay, the talent show is something that we are discussing. We are discussing possible ways. Again, we're still getting, honestly, we're just figuring out how to get the kids in, make sure education is top notch, making sure the students are fed. They have their academy classes again. We are in talks about how to have concerts, how to have talent shows. We're just in the process of figuring out the health guidelines for that to be able to happen.
Is there band right now? Are the kids
There
doing
is
band?
band, there is band, and there is chorus. Yes. And
How are
there
they
is
doing
choir.
band? Are they doing it in the auditorium or outside?
They're in the auditorium. They're spread out, and there will be additional devices that will be added to the instruments for safety, as well as additional masks that have been that are purchased that will be provided for the chorus class to enable them to sing.
Great.
And Kenneth, don't worry, I will continue to ask the question about the talent show. That's one of my favorite things of the year.
8th grade band be putting on a show again. If we could do it with safety, I guess we would want to do that. Is that right, Ms. Siddiqui?
I'm sorry, I was just reading a message. Could you say that again?
8th grade band. Are we going to put on a show? Hopefully, we'll put on all of.
We're hoping, like I said, we are all about making sure there is a talent show, there is a concert, there is a theater program through NIA and through the school, as well as a band. We're just working through the protocols to ensure that will happen.
And I see a message about possible fundraisers for the fall. Please email me. I'd love to talk to you about it. I do need some help organizing because we are a small exec board. So please, Manal, if that's something that you'd be willing to help with, please email me. Again, it's kimgillet@gmail.com. Thank you.
Put it in the chat, Kim, please. When school will open, these clubs, such as debate clubs, robot math, were led by teachers, or will it only be NIA?
Right now, it's only through NIA. I know NIA did start. It started on Monday, so it was the second day of NIA. But as of right now, we'll be through the NIA program.
Okay. There's a question. Their daughter gets to school at 7:30 because of the bus schedule. Will there be early library hours that she can go inside once the weather gets cold?
We will not be having early library hours at this time, but we are working with our safety team to be able to get the students in earlier during any type of inclement weather.
Something similar to class 800.
That is something that the instructional team is working on, and as well as we'll be talking about that at SLT. Some of our major class 800 teacher leaders are no longer with us. So we do not have Ms. Bishop any longer, who was a major part. She has transferred and moved upstate New York. And we do have Mr. Chechi on a limited basis. So we are trying to have the staff to be able to make sure that a similar type of class 800 program works.
Are there still openings in NIA? Some people missed the registration.
They would have to email Mr. Hederman for that. Breanne, could you put Mr. Hederman's email in the chat, Ms. Gasser? Thank you. You can email Mr. Hederman. Mr. Hederman will be able to let you know whether or not there's any availability.
So Ms. Zhu, is it possible to have our school open? Do you mean close 12th Avenue? Apply open street. That might be helpful for morning arrival, avoid traffic jams. I don't understand that question.
What we are seeing again, which creates an extremely difficult and position for us, are parents dropping off students and doing a U-turn, which creates a very dangerous situation. In addition to students or parents picking up students in between buses, which creates a very hazardous situation.
So don't do that.
I'll definitely take a look at the street blog. Thank you so much, Ms. Zhu.
I get this question again. The after-school program from 3 to 5 is called NIA.
Yes.
It's a neighborhood program that is funded. Is it funded by us or is it funded by the district?
It's funded by the city.
By the city. So it's funded by the city to try to extend the school day. We call it the seamless day. and it's enrichment as well as it's enrichment. Is there also homework help? What are the
There's
different
homework help. They have homework help in the beginning. They have snack, in addition to a variety of different STEM type activities, as well as athletic activities that they have during the day. Or the afternoon, I should say.
math team?
Ms. Basara, would you like me to take that, or would you like to talk about that?
No, you can. You went to that competition last year, so I think you may know a little bit more about it.
We do have Mr. Ip, who is one of our math teachers, who started the Math Counts math team. That was prior to our COVID shutdown. Mr. Ip is beginning to do that again. He will reach out to students who would be interested in participating in a math team. Being part of the math team also is about being a part of competition. The competition is at the state level as well as the national level, I believe. So we did participate in Math Counts right before the shutdown, actually, 2 days before we shut down. And we actually won first place for all newcomers in that competition, which was led by Mr. Ip. So that information in terms of the math team will be coming out.
Interesting question. When will computers be giving out? Guys, does every student in 1A7 have a personal computer that they take home with them, a device?
Ms. Gasser, that would be you?
Yep. There is, if you do need a device, or if one of your devices from the DOE is not working right now, there is a form that Mr. Berman had sent out, and I will put that in the chat. That's how you're going to request devices. We do have over about 50 families that did request devices. So our tech is working on it. We are working on it. We're just waiting for guidance of how to give out the computers and what the procedure is for signing computers out.
I see some questions about Spectrum. Yes, Spectrum will be a part of NIA. And yes, Mr. Ip is the teacher in charge of the math team.
I'm also going to put the back to school manual into the chat, because that has a lot of contact information and a lot of information about the school in case you do need to refer to it at any time.
The back to school manual is an extremely important document. It will have all of your contact information in terms of who to contact in the building if you have a question. It will be updated throughout the year. I believe that we began to update some of the grading policies that have happened. In addition to just a reminder, please make sure that all families have filled out the necessary information on Operu via Blue Cards, internet usage policies, 504 information, all of that has been sent out. In addition, we will be sending out, I believe were sent out today or maybe yesterday, newsletters on revising our ELA curriculum, 6th, 7th, and 8th grade. We had a team of teachers working all summer. So that is something that is exciting and new. So please look out for that newsletter. So you'll be updated on any ELA curriculum updates.
Thank you, Ms. Siddiqui. Someone's texting me through back channels. They want to know if there's any chance of any trips.
Everybody knows I love trips. Mr. LaBella, you have been on a wonderful trip with me to Yellowstone. So yes, I love it. We would love to have it. We're waiting further guidance. That is something that is integral to our academies. The students look forward to it. I look forward to it. So I'm hoping that we can have trips. I really just cannot answer that right now.
Sorry to put you on the spot.
Well, if this is your last year, you have to come on one last trip with me.
National Junior Honor Society.
Yes, I will ask Mr. Berman. And again, I believe it is in the back to school manual. So you will see all of the criteria for National Junior Honor Society is in the back to school manual.
So let me get it out there right now. The biggest problem or biggest impediment to back to school is not grades. Our kids do really well. It's the service hours. Start doing service hours now. Figure out what you can do to do service hours. Because this way you get it done and you get out of the way. You're not scrambling come, May to get all your service hours in a week, which is not possible and may raise a red flag. But please, service hours, that's big. we're opening up, there's plenty of opportunities out there for everyone to get service hours.
In terms of the math team, I will talk to Mr. Ip tomorrow and discuss, you know, how he'll be sending out that information so that if anybody is interested in joining the math team, I will talk to him about his criteria and which grades he will be focusing on. So I do believe that that information will be going out very shortly.
What do we need service hours for? So the National Junior Honor Society there's a bunch of specific requirements in order to qualify. It's grades, it's also character. So we require, or the National Junior Honor Society actually requires in their little constitution, that the children who participate be leaders in all sense, leaders in all ways, right? We want well-rounded individuals, and part of that is giving back to the community. So that's why service hours are so important. Well, I don't know about carrying over. That's beyond the scope of my authority, but we could figure it out later on. And Ms. Siddiqui, you want to jump in?
Yeah, that's something that we can definitely discuss at SLT meeting. I think that could be on the agenda.
I know that Mr. Ip emailed to the math teachers a Google Classroom code or form for kids to join. I'll put that in the chat for kids that are interested in joining the math team or trying out for it.
Office hours. How do they work? Okay. Office hours are there available for teachers to outreach to parents, to meet with parents via Zoom. Parents have to be vaccinated to be able to enter the building. They're also there to work with small groups of students. So if you would like to talk to a teacher or would like a telephone conference or a Zoom conference with the teacher, you would just have to email that specific teacher and they will be able to set it up for you.
So are they requesting, is the DOE requesting we upload our COVID vaccination proof? And because I did it for Brooklyn Tech, do we have that link that we could put out there?
Ms. Gasser, I believe right now it's just for students. Is that correct?
So right now, I believe it is just for students and for staff. I do believe, though, that if you are trying to enter a school building, that you do have to show your vaccination card, either your card or a picture.
Or Excel Surpass, right? Or are they taking that or no? Yes?
I believe so.
We have a question about, will the Links Club be continuing?
So the Links Club is going to be continuing. We are trying to figure out, just for safety protocols, what the best way will be for lunch to happen. We are hoping that that is something that will be happening, but in some way, shape, or form, we will be continuing the Links Club.
That's great. Morgan loved it, and we have another parent here whose child also. It's a wonderful program, Ms. Gasser.
Thank you.
In addition, we do have many students who want to monitor at this point, being teacher monitors, and just trying to get everyone through lunch and in the appropriate spot. There hasn't really been any monitoring that has happened as of yet. We're still trying to work that out. Remember, the students have to stay in their cohort. So we're trying to be we're trying to be as safe as possible. So monitoring, I'm hoping will begin shortly for students who want to monitor for teachers.
So they're asking about the PTO. Is that a listed charity for Amazon Smile? No, I think we tried to get it last year and we didn't do it in timely fashion. We do have, there's a bunch of corporate entities that we do participate in. Brevity is one off the top of my head. And if you do have a corporate match with your company, we would be happy to register and send in the paperwork so that you can participate and help us. Last year, there was we got like $3 grand extra for corporate match. It was really phenomenal. If you have information on Amazon Smile, that would be great. We'll go forward and maybe we'll Google it and we'll try to figure out how do we register. Any other ideas about what should we do to go forward? Please send them in. And Shirley, you sound like a really engaged parent. Maybe you want to join us on the team.
I think, Vito, definitely for our first SLT meeting, we need to talk about community service. I think where I'm seeing a lot of questions on that, we want to make sure that we have a solution for everyone.
Can someone describe the Links Club?
So the Links Club is a program in our school where we have students with disabilities, and our general education students Our general education students usually meet once a week during the after school hours to learn about different disabilities and to plan for their meeting with their buddy. The special education students and the general education students are usually scheduled once a week to eat lunch together and just to form friendships and socialize with one another and learn just a little bit about each other, and really to foster those friendships between our students with disabilities and general education students. And it does count towards community service hours.
Jamie, you know what? Mr. Mora, maybe you should camera yourself and introduce it. Mr. Mora is on our SLT. He's joining us, and I think maybe I was remiss in not introducing him as an SLT member. All right, I won't put you on the spot anymore.
It's Wink Mora, not me.
Oh,
Oh,
hi, Mrs. Mora. How are you?
oh, I thought you were behind the background in there. See,
It's so nice to see Max in the building again.
He's so happy to be there. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
And by the way, your the books that came home today, the planners, they came out wonderful. Thank you.
oh,
They're really nice.
thank you. Yeah, we were worried about that.
I am so glad to hear that. As I said, I did the planners, which are very similar for Brooklyn Tech, and they're getting them for Halloween. So I'm just so happy that our kids have them.
I'm impressed.
Glad you like it. Thank
Thank you.
I'd just like to let all the parents know here. I mean, going through last year and the closure and opening and partial opening and seeing the kids and staying in one classroom all day and not having a full staff, it's quite a joy to actually see the kids back in the building again. They do seem happy. They are talking. It does feel somewhat normal to see the kids interacting again and moving from class to class. So they do definitely see happy, engaged. They're happy to see their friends and their teachers. If sixth graders who were remote last year actually see a teacher in person and they're so excited. It's like, yes, we're off of Zoom. You do see us. We are here. So it is wonderful to have so many of the students back in the building again.
Ms. Siddiqui, let me put you on the spot just a bit. How are everybody really, please just chime in. How are the kids tolerating the masking? We're hearing so much stuff about how masks are harming our children. I feel that the kids are resilient and they're getting through it, but that's just my opinion. What do you guys think?
I mean, again, I can ask all the APs who are here today as well to speak to that. We do talk about it in the academy prep. I do see the kids at lunchtime. We have not, or I have not witnessed any issues with students with masks or being uncomfortable with the mask. They do have a mask break when necessary. At lunchtime, they do remove their masks. Many of the students put shields on while they're eating. And after they're finished eating, they remove the shield and put their mask back on. We have truly amazing students at 187. Even in the morning, they're waiting outside before I get there to check their information before they enter. I have not witnessed any issues with any mask concerns as of yet. That doesn't mean it hasn't happened. It just means that I have not witnessed anything yet. Any other of the APs would like to talk about if they have noticed any issues with masks?
I think you summed it up pretty well.
Okay.
Same.
I think one of the, Ms. Forsyth, please go ahead. One thing I would say is that we probably will have a little bit of extra acne from the mask.
I do already.
but we can deal with that. And I said there's one question here that we had about service hours counting for only in-building activities, and I believe that is no. You can do service hours outside of Christa McAuliffe as well.
Right. How many students to a class? The maximum is 33. We do have less than 33 in many classes. The way that we were able to socially distance is we removed a tremendous amount of furniture. The teachers condensed. We removed file cabinets, the storage units to be able to ensure that the students are 3 feet apart. There are markings on the floor to make sure that the students stay that way. The classes are cold for a reason. The teachers are told to make sure that they open the window to circulation to make sure that the air is circulating throughout the room. in terms of the air purifiers that have been added to the room. So yes, they are chilly, and they may be chilly for a reason, so that the air is circulating to keep us safe.
Ms. Siddiqui, does every single classroom now have an air conditioner?
Yes, they have air conditioners in addition to 2 to 4 air purifiers, in addition to a maximum capacity air purifier that is in the auditorium, in addition to the lunchroom.
So the lunchroom is now fully air conditioned?
The lunchroom is fully ventilated with air purifiers that were added just recently by the Department of Education.
Our 2 split units, I don't know, we may be getting into SLT territory, but the 2 split units, are they there? Are they functional?
Yes, they're there. They're functional. I believe so. Please don't quote me. But again, the air purifiers are for 500 maximum people maximum for the units that they did put into the cafeteria. Ms. Bassara, can you tell me what the maximum capacity is for the cafeteria? I don't remember.
We didn't get a maximum capacity of it, but we fit about 2.5 classes in there. So we fit about 80, but we never really received a capacity.
Okay.
Okay, great. Okay, it's 8:02. We don't see any more questions.
What the maximum capacity is for the cafeteria, I don't remember. We didn't get a maximum capacity of it, but we fit about 2.5 classes.
Here in your back, Stephanie.
Wow, yeah.
Received a capacity.
Hold on. I may have to... Someone's listening. What that is someone's listening it on YouTube and it's going backstage. So it's kind of like a science fiction thing, right?
There's a question about the math team.
Math team, I'm sorry. How long?
I would say to direct the questions to Mr. Ip, that he would know in terms of when they would meet and how long the meetings would be for.
Okay, so is there anything else from the team? Any other questions from the PTO board? Anything that we should? Yes, mooncake. Thank you, Kenneth. First of all, there are people that are celebrating Succoth tonight, and there are also people that are celebrating the Mid-Autumn Mooncake Festival, I believe. So if that was something that you were doing and we took you away, I apologize. September is just so crazy with all of the holidays, and we have to get things fit in. If you see a notice goes out for a meeting and it's a holiday that we don't know about and it's important, please tell us sooner rather than later. As soon as it goes out, let us know, shoot us an email, say, hey, you may not know this, but this is going on that day. And, you know, if we can, we will try to reschedule. We want to accommodate everybody. We want to be cognizant of everybody's special events. So with that being said, if nobody has any objections, I'll make a motion to adjourn. Can I get a second? Second, thank you, Kim. All in favor? Aye. Aye, aye, aye. Great. Anybody opposed? No. The meeting is adjourned at 8:04. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. Thank you to our PTO team. Thank you to the administrative staff. And we look forward to a 2021-2022 great school year.